Honda met with great success with the launch of the CB Unicorn 160, and now they've launched its younger sibling, the CB Hornet 160R. While both motorcycles cater to different types of buyers, we are often asked which one to choose. Here's your answer. First up, we have the Honda CB Unicorn 160, which launched early last year. The new Unicorn 160 got a new headlamp design along with a digital instrument console that you'll find on the CB Trigger. The fuel tank got short angular shrouds but retained the 3D embossed Honda logo. The plastic side panels look decent and sweep up well to the quirky edge-shaped taillight. In comparison, the Hornet is a sportier looking motorcycle. On the looks front, it gets a more chic and sporty design which was lacking in the Unicorn 160. The Hornet gets a new sporty headlight design with pilot lamps, a shorter single-piece handlebar, but the same digital instrument console that's on the Unicorn 160. The tank shrouds have now been molded onto the petrol tank, and a black plastic strip has been added to give it a more muscular, sporty look. The aluminium-like rear panels and the carbon fiber stickered side panels give it a slightly more premium look over the Unicorn 160. The Unicorn 160 displaces 13.9cc more than the standard 150cc Unicorn. The power output now is 14.7 PS compared to the previous 13.5 PS, and the peak torque is achieved at 14.6 Nm from 12.8 Nm. The transmission remains the same with its proven 5-speed gearbox and heel and toe shifter. The increase in engine capacity and power translates to the Unicorn 160 being able to cruise comfortably at higher speeds without putting too much of a strain on the engine. The Hornet gets the same engine as the Unicorn 160 but has now been retuned and puts out 15.8 PS of power and 14.7 Nm of torque. So compared to the Unicorn 160, it's now been beefed up by 1 PS more and reaches its maximum power and maximum torque at a slightly higher RPM than before. In this new state of tune, the Hornet's engine feels peppier and gives you that sporty feel. On the mileage front, both motorcycles return a good fuel economy of 55 km per litre since both get Honda's HET technology. Now comes the major differences in the two motorcycles. Both motorcycles employ the same diamond frame, but the riding postures on both are far apart. The Unicorn 160 gets a more straight-up commuter riding posture, while the Hornet gets a sportier riding posture due to its rear set foot pegs and the short, flatter handlebar. The Hornet 160R also gets meatier front shock absorbers than the Unicorn 160. These new shock absorbers do a great job on bad patches and work better than the ones on the Unicorn 160. The tires on the Hornet are slightly bigger too. The Hornet sports a 180/17 tire in the front, while the rear gets a massive 140/70/17. The Unicorn 160 on the other hand has a 80/100/17 up front and a 110/80/17 at the rear. The Hornet's bigger tires will give you a bigger contact patch both in the front and at the rear, which will be useful under hard braking situations and in wet conditions. Both the Hornet and the Unicorn get disc brakes in the front, but the Hornet gets a rear disc brake and has better stopping power due to its new pedal disc brakes. In fact, we found the braking power and feel on the Hornet to be the best in this segment. Both motorcycles are good packages at their respective price points. The Honda CB Unicorn 160 CBS is priced at Rs 82,000 and the CB Hornet 160R CBS is priced at Rs 89,000. So basically, there's about 7,000 rupees difference between the two. The Hornet does have beefier front shock absorbers, better brakes and bigger tires, but it caters to a different audience. If you are amongst the ones who like a sportier looking motorcycle and like the slightly racing riding posture, pick the Hornet. For a more commuter-like comfort and feel, pick the Unicorn 160.